Hey everyone, so this video is a little addendum to the last video I uploaded about Gotham Knights. I was thinking of uploading this to Patreon, but it's not going to be very long, so what the hell.
Well, I figured, what the hell.
There was originally going to be an extra 5 or so minutes attached to that video that I decided to cut because the video was already 28 minutes long. What I wanted to talk about in that section is a minor gripe I had about Gotham Knights, and it's a gripe that extends to other DC properties as well, especially Titans and The Flash. Those two have it really bad. But it was a nitpick, so I decided to cut it out of the video, but I'm going to talk about it here because I love you guys. And this minor gripe of mine is a personal issue I have because writers seem to not understand a very simple concept. Stealth is not magic. Stealth is just being sneaky. It's not invisibility, it's not teleportation, and it is not some sort of mystical power that lets you avoid all forms of detection. I have to say this because for some reason, writers will just take stealth and decide that it's a mystical superpower that lets you do pretty much anything you want and be anywhere at all times, like you're omnipresent. And nowhere is that more prevalent than with Batman. Now, Batman does the disappearing trick all the time, and there's dozens of videos explaining the Batman disappearing trick and how it works, etc., etc. And I'm not saying you can't do that. If you have enough distractions and enough places to hide, then you can avoid detection and make it look like you disappeared. It's a very common trick. So some of these Batman disappearing moments are perfectly reasonable. You also have to understand Batman has a grappling hook that lets him just zip up into the sky whenever he wants, so it's pretty easy for him to disappear when he's on top of a building or like on the ground. But I will restate again, stealth is not invisibility and it's not teleportation, nor does it give you superpowers. Because while there are some moments where the Batman disappearing trick is possible, in fiction there are double as many where it's impossible and so illogical that it borders on stupidity. And I get that this is a nitpick, it's not a serious issue, and a lot of Batman stories do this, and I don't really care. But in Titans, in Gotham Knights, when they do it constantly, it starts to get on my nerves. Characters will be in plain view out in the open with nowhere to hide and instantly teleport or disappear for no reason and nobody can find them afterwards. And don't even get me fucking started on The Flash. Characters in that borderline have teleportation powers. They'll just walk behind a door and then suddenly Barry can't find them even though he can run faster than the speed of sound. In stories like this, writers seem to skirt around the issue of whether or not these characters can actually teleport because they never do it on screen. They just hide behind a door and then suddenly, oh, they're gone. I guess they were just really stealthy. And every time a writer does this where it's like, oh, he must have been so stealthy, you just didn't know how he escaped, I always think one thing, lazy writing. If you cannot come up with a reasonable way for a villain to escape other than they just super stealth out of the situation, I guess no one can find them, then that's just lazy. It starts to feel like the writer could not come up with a reasonable way for someone to escape, so they just disappear when people take their eyes off them for a couple seconds. And it becomes even worse when the scenes are set up in a way where it's illogical for the person to escape or disappear, and there's literally no way they could have done it. Take this scene in Gotham Knights, for example. Robin is sitting in a library, smack bang in the middle. The only places she has to hide are bookshelves, which you would have to get up and walk to, or under the table, which is stupid. She's in the middle with a conversation with Hacker Chick, and suddenly another guy comes in. This guy is staring directly at her. We get a cut and she's off screen for 4 seconds. 4 seconds and she makes no sound. And she's gone. Poof, disappeared. She disappeared, making no noise, in the middle of an open room, while someone was looking at her. Hey writers, where the fuck did she go? I know she didn't get up without making any sound and run all the way over to those bookshelves and is hiding behind them. She's not hiding behind that chair back there. Is she hiding under the table like a child? There is absolutely no fucking reasonable way on planet Earth that she could have escaped this situation without being seen. But when stealth is magic teleportation powers, I guess it's possible. If you're going to have characters just straight up fucking teleport, then have the balls to give them teleportation powers or don't do it. I know this is a minor gripe, but it happens so often in these Batman shows that it makes me want to throw something out of a window, because it pisses me off and I always notice it. I guess I'll talk about it more when I review the next season of Titans, but that's all for now. Goodbye. I'm disappearing. Stealth.